Today's the day. I am going to create my 2026 life planner, and I'm going to take you on that journey. We're going to do it together from the very beginning. My life management tool, my life planner, is a place for me to keep my calendar and any other pertinent information that might be related to my life. I can keep it all in one place, and that's what I want to show you how to do today. So stay with me. Well, hi everyone, this is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today we are doing the organizing. We are creating a brand new notebook for myself to use during 2026. Like I said at the top of the video, it is my life planner because not only does it hold my day-to-day calendar information, my to-do list, my schedules, all of that kind of thing, but it also stores any information that is important to me, that I want to keep track of. My health statistics, my Crystal Clear Life statistics, all of those kinds of things are stored in this one planner. And today I want to show you how to do that. We're going to start at the very beginning with creating a brand new notebook. So with all that said, if that sounds interesting, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Please feel free to share these videos with anyone that you think would like to learn more about OneNote. And with all that out of the way, I'm excited and ready to get into this video. So here we go. All right, well, as you can see, I started a list of 2026 planner ideas. I did this a while ago, and I just keep adding to it because as things change in my life or as I add new things into my planner, I want to make sure that I incorporate those. So I need a place to store those ideas and those things to think about. And this page right here happens to be it for me. I keep it in my long-term planning section because, of course, I'm planning for the upcoming years and I want to make sure that I have everything there. I do highlight things in here as I add new things because I want them to stand out to me. This year, one of the things that I added to my notebook was my budget, and I created a new budget section, which you will see right here. And I want to make sure that I take that forward into 2026. So basically what I do on this page is I look back at all of the sections that might have been working for me, and I list those sections here. Let me scroll in so you can see. So here you see I have a list of sections: long-term, basic month, because I added budget this year. That's why budget's down here at the bottom. And as I go across, you will see all of the different sections. Now, this is just a list of the sections here, but then what I do is in my little mocked up notebook, I say, okay, well, what do I want in my year-long section? Well, these were some of the things that I put in there last year, my 2025 long-term calendar. That needs to be changed to 26. I created my 2026 long-term calendar a few months ago, and I've been adding to it. But I also want to take my birthdays, my time blocks, my master gardener list, my master meal list, my financial yearly, which I may end up moving to my budget section. So I can simply cut that and we'll take it over here and we'll add it to our budget section. So we're kind of keeping all that finance stuff together, okay? But I am adding this year to my year-long health and habits section as well, okay? So this is just my way of kind of planning out what I want on, in my different sections. But let me tell you something. If you just created one section and you dumped a bunch of stuff in there, you can always reorganize it as you go into using the notebook. It's not like, having a regular spiral notebook where, December the 12th is right here and you can't move it anywhere, okay? You can't move it around in these spiral notebooks. Well, in the digital notebook, you can move it wherever you want to, okay? All right, so this is kind of my planning and my thought process about what I want in each section, what I want to add this year, what I want to change, and that kind of thing. I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I'm ready to get started. So let's do that, okay? How to create a new notebook in OneNote. Here we go. You're going to go up here to your notebooks list, and you're going to go all the way down. And you see I have a lot of notebooks here, okay? But I want to create a new notebook. So I simply have to go to this plus sign at the top. And when I click on that, it says add a new notebook, and it comes up and says, where do you want to store your notebook? Now, because I like my notebooks to sync from my desktop to my iPad and to my phone and other devices, I like to store mine on OneDrive. So OneDrive is like a big cloud umbrella, and then my desktop and my iPad and my phone and all of that stuff connect through OneDrive, and then everything is able to sync up, okay? So that's where I want it to be stored. You could, however, if it was a very private notebook or you only wanted to use it on your PC, you could put it right on your particular PC that you have in front of you, okay? Let's see. Next thing that you need to do is you need to name your notebook. And I am going to call mine, because I am so original, my 2026 Crystal's Life Planner, okay? And I say Crystal's Life Planner because I share my life planner with my husband and my daughter, and when it comes up in their notebook list, I would like them to know, yeah, this is mom's. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to say create notebook. And when I do that, it will come up and say, your notebook has been created. Would you like to share it with other people? Okay. If you say invite people, what it does is it comes up and it says, all right, let's share. And here's the link to Crystal's Life Planner. You can share it with, and as you'll see down here, let's see if I can move this up a little bit. You'll see down here that I can send somebody a link to that particular notebook, or I can share it with my husband and my daughter, okay? So if I don't already have them listed here and I want to share it with someone else, I can put in their email address here, and it will send them a message saying, that you have an email to share a notebook with somebody, and here's the link to do that, okay? All right, now, for privacy reasons and sharing email addresses, I don't want to do that on YouTube. I will do that later, but just so you know, it is an option to be able to share notebooks with other people, okay? And when you share a notebook with someone, that means that they can go in and edit it, okay? All right, now, here on the screen, you see Crystal's Life Planner for 2026 has already been created, okay? If I click on this list right here, you will see all of my previous notebooks, okay? The 2026 notebook is all the way down here at the bottom, and to make it easier to work on, I'm going to move it to the top. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to drag it all the way up to the very, very, very top, right there, okay? Now, it is on the top, and you see that it is very similar in color to my 2025 notebook, okay? I'm going to change that by right-clicking, and I'm going to go down here to Properties. Okay, and under Properties, it says what's the name. I could change the name at this point if I didn't like that. I can also change the color. So I could go here to Color. And over here, I can change the color if I want. Maybe I want something that is... stands out a little bit more. Let's go with this magenta this magenta color over here. That kind of stands out. I can change the location at this point. I can change the default format if I want to at this point. I can do all of that, okay? And then when I'm finished making those changes, I can say okay. And now you'll see that my 2026 planner has a bright purple color. And so when I look at all of the ones that I have here, that one kind of stands out to me as being the newest at the top, okay? All right, now it starts with a notebook. And let me explain briefly about the hierarchy of OneNote notebooks. First of all, you have a notebook like a 3-ring binder, okay? And when you have that notebook closed, you can't see anything that's inside of it. But once you open that notebook, you will see in a standard 3-ring binders, like we used to use in school, you will have divider tabs down the side. So if you were using it for school, you might be separating, your English class from your math class and that kind of thing. If you were using a 3-ring binder for a recipe notebook, you might be separating your appetizers from your entrees and your side dishes, that kind of thing. If you were using it even as a vehicle maintenance notebook, you might have car number 1, car number 2, tractor, motorcycle, whatever it happens to be that you own, okay? All right, so these little sections that I'm going to talk about are like those little divider tabs that you have in the notebook. And then behind those divider tabs, you have pages that you can insert. And just like a traditional 3-ring notebook, if you wanted to open those rings and move those pages from one section to the other, you certainly could do that. And you can do that in OneNote as well. It's as easy as clicking on the page and dragging it to another section, okay? And I'll show you that in just a few minutes, okay? So if I wanted to go in here and set up some new sections, I could do that. Now, my planning page is on a different page in this notebook. What I want to be able to do is take a quick peek at my planning pages. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go down here to the very bottom and I'm going to right click and I'm going to click on OneNote again. And I'm going to let that open a second OneNote window, okay? And I'm going to put that second OneNote window over here on the side, like that. And then I'm going to put my new notebook here. So on this side, I'm going to go back to 2025 so that I can see my lists and things that I want. I can do full page view so that I have more that I can see. And then to give myself more working room in my new notebook, I'm just going to adjust these things like this, okay? So I know the first section that I want based on my list of sections from last year is my year-long section. So I'm going to start with the first tab that's up here, and it has a blue title and it says new section number 1. I can right click on new section number 1 and I can rename that year long, like so. And again, I can also change the color of this if I would like. Let's go with, oh, I do not like the teal for what I want to do. I think I'm going to keep it kind of neutral this year. So I'm going to go with this silver color, and there's my year-long section, okay? Now, within that year-long section, I have some pages that I want to bring over. So my 2026 year-long, my perpetual birthday calendar, my time blocks, my master gardener list, and my meal list, okay? Now, these things don't change very often for me. That's kind of why I can use them year after year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy them from last year's notebook, from my 2025 notebook, and bring those forward or migrate them forward, okay? All right, so in order to do that, I need to go back so that I can navigate. And I am going to go up here. This is my 2025 calendar. Here's my 2026 calendar, okay, that I have already started doing some planning on, okay? And what I can do is I can right click on that. I can make a copy of that because I really don't want to take it off of where it is, or I could just move it. But I want to show you how to do both. So what I want to do is it says move or copy to, and I'm going to put it in my new 2026 notebook, okay, in the year-long section right here. And if I say move it, it will take that page, get rid of the whole thing, and now move it to this new notebook, just like that, okay? So there it is. If you look back here at my 2025 page, it's gone. It's not there anymore. It is now in 2026. So now I need to remember for the last few weeks of December, if I have any planning to do in 2026, I need to go ahead and open up that 2026 notebook, okay? Now, my perpetual birthday calendar and my master gardener list and all of these other pages, what I can do here is I can choose a couple of those: yearly finance, my master inbox list, my daily time blocks, my yearly maintenance. And I can do that, and then I can right click and say, all right, let's make a copy of these. I don't want to move them, I want to make a copy of them. But again, I want to take them back to 2026, and I want to go to my first section here, which is my year-long section, and I want to say copy. Okay, now when I do that, you can see they stay in my 2025 notebook, but they are also now listed here in my 2026 notebook. Okay, all right. Now, let's go back to my planning page down here, my 2026 planner ideas. Okay, and one of the things that I wanted to add is a budget section. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to my little divider tabs at the top. And yes, if you don't like your divider tabs at the top, you can put them on the side. So let me show you that really quickly. If you go under View, you can do Tabs Layout, and you can, right now I have them going horizontally across the top. You can do vertical tabs if you want, which drops them over here on the side, okay, and it gives you more working space at the top. So either way that you like it, either going down the side or going across the top, you can have it either way under your view. I personally, because I've been using this forever, like it at the top. So I'm going to do my tabs layout as horizontal. Okay? All right, now I'm going to create a new section here. I said I wanted to create a new section this year, so I'm going to go over here to this tab and I'm going to click, and it's going to come up once I click on it, and it's going to say new section. And what do you want to call it? Well, remember I said I wanted to add a budget section in here, so I'm going to do budget like that. Okay, and then again, let's see, section color, and I can make that green for money. And what I wanted to show you is if you have something that you want to move from one section to another, how easy it is to move pages. I now have my year-long section, and I have my budget section, and I have a yearly finance maintenance page in my year-long section. I think this year I'm going to move that to my budget section. So I'm going to go down here to this page. I'm going to click on it, okay, so you can see it there. And I'm going to drag that page into my budget section and let go of the mouse. And there it is. Okay. So now my yearly financial maintenance checklist is right here ready for me to use. Okay. All right. So moving pages from one section to another is as easy as clicking and dragging. Okay. We've also talked about before that you can sort these pages right here. So there's a little arrow right here, and if you click on it, you can say, I don't want any sorting. I want to do a manual sort and have those pages in the order that I want them to be. You could also do an alphabetical sorting if you wanted to by simply clicking here, okay? And you see that it puts them in alphabetical order. You could also do date created order, or you could do date modified order. Okay, however you would like that to work. It doesn't matter. I usually say none because I like mine in a particular order so that I know where things are. Okay, now I did want to say that every section that you create has an untitled page at the beginning. If you do not need a blank page there, you simply can right click on that page and you can delete it, and it gets rid of that whole page. Okay? Sometimes I like to use that untitled page like as a dashboard or kind of a table of contents, whatever you want to do. That is the beautiful thing about digital planning. All right, so for me, in my long-term section, I have my calendar, I have my gardening list, I have my yearly financial maintenance list, I have my master inbox list with all of my tags in it, and I have my daily time blocks, which I need to work on. That's going to be an upcoming video. If you're interested in time blocking, I'm trying to rearrange my schedule a little bit for what I've been doing. So if that sounds interesting to you, leave me a little comment that says, yes, I want to see more about time blocks. That would be really cool. Okay. All right. And then in my budget section right now, the only thing that I have in my budget section is my yearly finance maintenance. Okay. Well, let's go back and look at my planning sheet and see what I wanted to add to my budget section. So here in my budget section, I have my financial bill payment and dashboard and my financial yearly right there, okay? So if I look in my 2025 budget section, I can find those pages that I want and take those forward. So let's do that. Okay, so what you see here is my master financial snapshot dashboard. I did a whole video on this, how I created it and how I use it and that kind of thing. This whole page, bill payment, all that kind of stuff. There's also a net worth section down here at the bottom. That is a blank page that I want to take forward. Now you can see here listed for my other pages. Here I have May, June, July. I did a July net worth, August, September, October, November, and December. I've done all of my financial things for each month. And rather than storing it in my monthly sections, I decided it would be better to put them together in a budget section. So I like the way that's been working, so I want to carry that over, okay? So I'm going to take this page and I'm going to copy it into my 2026 budget section. Okay, so I'm going to right click. I'm going to say copy this page. And again, it's going to ask me where I want to take it. I'm going to go to my 2026 Life Planner, and I'm going to go to the budget section here, and I'm going to say make a copy. Well, hello, little man. Are you coming to join me today? You want to say hi real quick? Say hi, everybody. I'm little man. Say hi. This is the newest of our fur babies. He's a 3-year-old, beautiful tabby, and I can tell it's getting close to lunchtime because he's woken up from his morning nap and he's ready. He's ready for his lunch. All right, buddy, you hang out right there while I get finished over here, okay? All right, that's a good boy. All right. I always have lots of help around this house. All right, so now you see there is my master financial snapshot page. And if I zoom out, you can see the whole page. And I've been using this every month. This was something that I used to do in paper form, and now I'm doing it in digital form, okay? All right, so that's great. Now that's already set up, okay? So let's go back and look at year long and my planner page. And you know what? I'm going to grab a pen up here. I'm going to go up to my draw tool and let's choose a highlighter that is something that will stand out, and we'll make it a little bit thicker so that you guys can see it. And I have done all of these things, so I'm just going to put a big check mark right there. And let's see. In my budget section, I have my bill payment and dashboard, and I have my financial yearly. So I'm going to put a big check mark there. And I see something else over here that I have highlighted that means I want to have a new section for this year, and that is health and habits, okay? If you have followed me for any time, you know that in my basic month, in each of my monthly sections, I have a health and habits page that looks like this, okay? And it is a place for me to track, all those critical numbers that we older people need to keep track of: blood pressure, blood sugar, weight, how many calories we're consuming, how many steps we take, all the numbers that rule our lives, how much sleep we get, all that stuff. And I have forever kept this in my monthly section. So my December health and habits is in my December monthly. Well, what I discovered is every time I go to the doctor, she's like, well, let me see your numbers over the last 6 months. Well, then I have to go from page to page to page. So what I decided to do this year is I'm just going to create a section for myself that is health and habits. So I'm going to go up here and right click again, adding a new section, and this one is going to be called Health and Habits, like so. And again, let's see. Oh, it doesn't like. I'm going to rename this. Let's just go Health so that it's short. Okay, and we're going to make that one a different color as well. That can be silver. That can be one of my long-term kind of silver colors. Okay, and then when I look back at my 2025 notebook, this page here, and this is one that I just have generically set up for, the title of the month and all of the things that I want to track. Okay, what I'm going to do here is, again, make another copy of this. So copy or move. I'm going to take it to 2026. And I want to put it in my health section right there. And I'm going to say make a copy of that. And now I have my health and habits tracker right there in my new notebook as well. Okay. Now, people are all the time asking me, how did you create this? I have a whole series on my YouTube channel for how I create these individual pages, where I go step by step through how I create them. But what I want to tell you really, really, really quickly is this is a table, okay? And it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 column table. And then there are like 17 rows, okay? And so at the top of the table, I can just put all of the things that I want to track. And at, going down each of the rows, I put days 1 through 15, 16 through 30, okay? Or 31. If I wanted to add something to this table, I simply could, like if I want to put another column in here, let's say the doctor wants me to track something else, I could go in here to table and say, insert to the right, a whole column, and now I have a whole nother column that I can work on right there, okay? This table is stored in a container, okay? See this gray bar up here? That's its container. So if I click on that gray bar, I can highlight that, and then I can move that whole container around, that whole table around, and put it in a different configuration if I want to. So just because I have this table set up the way that it is for me doesn't mean that it has to stay that way forever, okay? So I think that's pretty cool. And then if you say, nope, I don't need to track that anymore, you can just go in here to table and say delete this column, and then that column goes away and your table is back down to the size that it was before, okay? And then I didn't recreate the whole thing. All I did was go here and say copy and then paste, okay? And I just changed the numbers. Okay, so I didn't recreate the table every time. I just changed the numbers to be 16, 17, all the way down to 31. Okay, so unlike a paper planner, you're not drawing these things by hand all the time. You can just modify them any way that you need to. Okay, so that your page looks the way you want it to look. Okay, exactly like that. Okay, all right, so that's pretty cool. All right, so back over here, I've got health and habits set up now, and I'm going to do that for every month. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's call this one, if we duplicate it, make a copy of this page. So within the notebook, I can say do it there and copy it. Okay, now I have two of them. So I have one that I can leave as like my master, but then this second one, I can go down here and I can say, no, this is going to be January, health and habits, and then I can change the name of this month to January if I want, like so. Okay, and I can go ahead and do one for each month if I want to. Go ahead and get all of that set up. Okay, all right. Let's jump back over here to 2025 and let's look at our long-term plan. And now we have set up our monthly tracking pages. So I'm going to grab that again and I'm going to give myself a check mark. Okay. So in today's video so far, we have already set up our long-term planning section. We've already set up our health and habits, which is a new section. And we have also set up our budget section coming forward. Okay, that's great. I've showed you how to set up a brand new notebook, how to add sections, how to copy pages, how to move pages from one section to another, all within just a few minutes. Okay, all right. I think the last thing that I want to tell you is folks have been asking about this background, my notebook background. Last week's video, I went through and showed you very specifically how you can create this background that I have here with the spiral and the colors, you know, the background and the pages and stuff. I showed you how to do that in PowerPoint, and I also showed you how to do that in Canva. So if you're interested in that notebook and you want to do that kind of thing, you can go and take a look at last week's video. I'll leave a link up above and down in the description box. And you will see here on this page that I have some other colors that I've been playing around with. So there's burgundy, there's charcoal, there's a purple plum, there's green. I also did the one that's in the middle here with the, you know, the spiral in the middle with the black notebook. I still have not come to a final decision about which notebook I want to use for this year. It's okay. I'm going to show you how to change it once I make my decision. But today, I just wanted to give you an idea of how to set that notebook up. It is so easy to set it up and to start adding sections here at the beginning, okay? And let me tell you, if you want these sections in a different order, let's say you want health right next to year long, all you need to do is click on health and drag it. And there's a little tiny arrow up there, little tiny arrow that shows you where it's going to go. And when you release it, now I have year long and I have health, okay? If I don't like it there and I want to put it back so that I have a space, you know, that budget in between, I can do that as well, okay? So I can move sections around, I can move pages around, I can combine two sections together. I can do all of that very quickly and easily in these digital notebooks, okay? All right, so what I'm going to continue doing is I'm going to continue looking at all of these other sections that I want to create. My goals section, my home section, my projects, my months, all of that kind of thing. Notes and research, my GTD section, you know, my brain triggers and stuff for getting things done, and my page templates. I'm going to go ahead and create all of those. If you think you would like to see me create those things, go ahead and leave me a comment that says, yes, show us all the details. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and create them and get my notebook up and going for the year, okay? All right, I think what I'm going to do for next week is I'm going to work on my standard monthly section, and that's going to include my inbox that you see here, my monthly dashboard, my meal planning page. My habit tracker's been moved. I'm going to leave that in my health section. My weeks pages and my daily pages. I'm going to come up with which ones I'm going to use for this year, and I'm going to go ahead and create that section alone next. I've also added last year, I added some reflection pages, some in the garden note taking. a notes page and the bills that I actually pay. So I keep, like a receipt of the bills that I actually pay in each section. I'm trying to figure out, should I take those bills and nest them underneath the financial? I don't know. I haven't worked that out yet. But remember, with it being, in OneNote, I can move those things around if I want to. Okay? All right, so to review again, creating a new notebook is as simple as clicking on this plus sign, creates that new notebook, name it what you want, choose the color that you want, share it with who you want, and then it will start generating that notebook and give you new sections. Those sections can be renamed, they can be recolored, the tabs can be recolored. The tabs can also be moved from horizontal to vertical if you would like, okay? And then once you have those tabs in place, those sections in place, you can start adding individual pages in there like we have done here, okay? All right, and all of those pages and all of those sections can be moved, as can the notebooks be moved up and down your open notebook list that you might have, all right? All right, well, I just think that planning in OneNote is so flexible and so wonderful, and I just love it. And here I am, I cannot believe it, starting my 6th year of digital planning using OneNote. I just think it's fantastic. And I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. You guys have encouraged me to keep going and to keep making videos for you about how I'm using OneNote. And I do appreciate all of you. And as we are in this holiday season of gratitude and love and kindness, little man and I would just like to say, happy holidays to everybody. Thank you for being with us. And we look forward to seeing them next year, don't we? Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being a loyal community member. I really appreciate it. And until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye. You want to say goodbye? Huh? You want to say goodbye? Yeah, it's a sleepy boy. Yeah.